All right, guys, welcome back to my channel. I just invested in this new ring light, so I hope I'm coming through nice and clear for you guys. So today we're actually going to mix things up. Most of my videos, I'd say 95% of my videos are political, but the reality is all of our lives have a lot more to do with just politics, right? Politics is just a small part of our lives. I'd say for me, it's probably at this point, probably 20% of my life is going to be politics in terms of watching the news, reading internet articles, producing content, editing content. It's really only about 20% of my life. There are a lot of other things I love doing in my life. A big foodie, big travel blog. I wanted to always be a travel vlogger. I spend a lot of time with my dogs, take them to the dog park every day. Exercise, fitness, gym is very important to me. But I also do watch a lot of YouTube. And, I know that for some of you guys love my channel. And it really makes me feel awesome and special when I get that feedback from you guys. I mean, right over here, Crystal Clear just said, I love what you're doing. Your content's amazing. Keep it up. Don't stop. And this makes me feel really good, right? To be able to produce content that you guys enjoy and I think is providing a service to the community, because we're trying to fight for freedom. We're trying to fight for the Constitution. We're trying to fight for the US as we know it, right? Which I think is important. But I also do love YouTube because of a lot of the content creators on there. Now, I do watch a lot of people like, A Ladder with Crowder, Tim Cass, Officer Tatum, Ben Shapiro. I watch Bo Diddle. All those different guys are great. But another part of YouTube that I love are these younger content creators. And one of them that really has resonated with me in like the deepest way is this guy named Loaf. Now, we've watched a few videos on a few of my late night shows together, and a lot of you guys in the comments said that you love Loaf. Now, I love this kid. I don't know him. I never met him before. I started following him when he had about, I want to say 100,000 subscribers. So I wasn't one of the first to discover him, but that was only about 3 months ago. And now the kid is at 1 million subscribers. So in 3 months, he went from like 100 to 1 million. Okay. So this kid absolutely exploded out of nowhere. Now, most of his content, as we watched before, is kind of like real world pranks meets vlogging. And this kid is hilarious. He's got one of the best senses of humor. And when I was hospitalized for basically 2 months straight in June and July, these were some of the darkest times of my life, guys. I mean, we've spoken about this many times, but finding out that you have a terminal illness, finding out that you need dialysis, you need a machine to keep your life going, to save your life, finding out that I'd be on a fluid restriction, 32 ounces a day, finding out that I'd have to now read every nutrition label and watch my potassium, phosphorus, and sodium, finding out that I had to take medication with every meal so that the phosphorus wouldn't bind to my body. All of these things were complete jarring, flipped my life upside down, and it was a very confusing, dark time for me. And so I was thankful to have YouTube as an outlet, because I was able to catalog my journey, talk to you guys live, share what I was going through. There are times I cried on camera, many times. You guys the videos are on my channel, they're there. But I thought it was really important for people to see what this disease could do to somebody. I thought it was important to share that. And so I did. I put myself out there, and I was inspired by this girl I knew from TikTok who was fighting terminal cancer, but she still went live every day. And I had a chance to interview her on my channel, and she died, I think, about 6 weeks after me and her chatted about her life. And so it was a privilege and an honor that I think I had the only interview with her that she's ever done. So it was important to me because my mom died of cancer, my dad's cancer survivor, and here was this young girl dealing with cancer. So I was just very inspired by her. And I just thought, wow, this is kind of like my turn now to inspire people. Look, there's 47 of you. Odds are some of you are going to deal with kidney failure at some point in your life. It's just the math. And I would hope that when you're in this, time of your life, that you can look to my channel in the future and say, this is how he did it. And he was able to kind of overcome. I mean, I'm not out of the woods yet, guys. I still need a new kidney. But the point of this is that this guy Loaf really was one of the bright spots in the hospital for me, because by the time I discovered him, he already had about like 40 videos on his channel. So I had hours of Loaf content that I was able to watch and just sit down and just really become part of this kid's life through YouTube. And kind of like Impractical Jokers, these kind of videos, they take your mind off of your life. It's like this momentary escape where you could forget about all the bullshit, all the serious issues, and just watch this young kid having such a good time and making us laugh. And it really is harmless humor, but he does trigger people sometimes, which is kind of funny. But he just posted a video to celebrate his 1 million subscribers. I started watching it and I didn't realize it was going to be such an emotional video. And I realized I should probably watch this with you guys live and kind of react to it. So I did watch the first 2 minutes and then I stopped and now here we are. I decided to turn my camera on and go live. So we're going to watch it together right now. His name is Loaf. And he is probably my favorite YouTuber besides Tim Pool. Tim Pool and Loaf are probably my two favorite guys right now. All right, let's get into it.
One of my favorite things to do is to go back and look at, people that I admire, like musicians or actors or athletes, whatever, and go back and look at like their old interviews and stuff. I find it really interesting because you get like the perspective of where they're at that time. When this channel does blow up, I want people to be able to come back and see where I was at this time and like my mindset. I'm even going to read off the number of subscribers I have. So currently filming this video, I have 1,547 subscribers on YouTube. Failure.
So that was July of last year. He had 1,500 subscribers. He was pretty much a nobody on YouTube. And fast forward, now he's at over 1 million. So this is an amazing journey.
Loser and loner are the three words that I would use to describe myself. My first memories were of loneliness. I remember being in kindergarten. I wouldn't talk like at all, like not just shy, but like I literally wouldn't talk to anyone, to any teacher, any adult. I would just point, and that's contrary probably to what a lot of you might think, and contrary to a lot of like YouTubers. A lot of them are like, oh, I was always messing around, I was always outgoing. I was the opposite. I was really shy, really timid. I remember being sad too as a kid, just sad. Like it was not like a normal like tantrum, like sadness. Like when I had to go to school the next day, I would literally like sit in my room and just like weep. And like very, very, very like super sad about like leaving my stuffed animals that were like my best friends. I don't know, I just remember that. High school was a hard time for me. I was really insecure. I was really unsure of myself. I had a bunch of like identity crises and stuff. I got bullied pretty bad, and like, kids, they kind of butchered me in high school. Like everything about me, like what I looked like. I was pretty skinny. I had like glasses. I'm like half Korean. I don't know why that was a big like discussion of all the kids. Like, but yeah, they pretty much just called me like every name that you can think of, and I'd never stood up for myself ever. I don't know. I was still like pretty scared. I remember just like hiding like behind my locker and using it as the door as like a shield when they would say stuff to me in the halls. Yeah, like they would do anything to me physically, anything. Like I would, like, yeah, it was a hard time. My memory's like not super clear all the time, but I remember like always being on the quest to try to find myself, and like I wanted to do something bigger. I always had this thought in the back of my mind that I was gonna show them one day, like you may treat me like this right now, but you'll see one day. I like compromised like who I was too, because I wanted friends. I would literally like not even be myself just because I wanted friends so bad. Like I couldn't buy a friend. I was just so lonely all the time. I wanted friends, and I wanted like that arm around me that just told me like everything was gonna be okay. And I never got that. I just wanted that so bad. I would watch videos. I would listen to music. watch shows and stuff, and it made me feel okay when I didn't have any friends. I wanted to make people feel like that. I wanted to give people what those artists and those creators and that what they gave to me. I was pretty depressed. It all just got pretty overwhelming, especially when you have no one to talk to about it. It's just like nobody's listening to me. I tried to take my own life. I don't know how close I got. I don't want to know. I don't want to think about it because I don't want to relive it. But that's the way I felt. I remember always wanting to do something creative.
Yeah, this is crazy, guys, because when you watch his channel, he's such like a he comes off as this, outgoing, funny guy. I mean, he is hilarious. He's got more confidence than I have, and I'm 39 years old. I mean, this kid is so confident. So it's amazing hearing this other side of the story about having such a dealing with depression in his past. So a lot of people that you see, out in the real world on YouTube, people are going through shit that you don't even know about. I'm sure a lot of you in the room here have gone through shit that we don't know about. I mean, right here, I'm reading the comments. Jeff Randolph, he volunteered that he lost his eyesight because of drinking in 1994. I didn't even know that was possible. I knew that hypertension could actually cause you to lose your eyesight. And one of my eye doctors many years ago said to me, if I don't get my blood pressure under control, I can be blinded by that. Well, I didn't get blind, but I did lose my kidneys. So, she was right about that in terms of there are repercussions to the decisions you make. Now, mine was genetic, but I did make decisions by not going to the hospital, not getting my blood checked. That's on me. And obviously, Jeff made his decisions when he was younger, and it sounds like he, was big into drinking. He made his decisions, and there's consequences to all the things that we do or don't do. But all you can really do is kind of just like learn from it, grow from it. I honestly don't have any regrets. A lot of people tell me you should have gone to the doctor. I'm like, yeah, I know that, duh, but I literally can't change that now. So all I can do is just stick to the regimen, stick to my, the rules, the food restrictions, everything they tell me to do, just do it to a T. And that's all you could do is just move forward and move on and do the best you can. And hopefully along the way, inspire others. So Jeff, thank you for sharing your story with us. I really do appreciate that.
Something that I could express myself. And towards the end of high school, I thought it was going to be music. Naively, when I was around 17, led me to the idea that I could do something in music. Not only was that just a failure, the whole thing quite literally ended up with the cops being in my living room at 9 in the morning. I mean, I obviously became the laughing stock of everybody that knew me. This is the first time I'm even saying this stuff publicly. I didn't do it in a good way. I did it in a way where I was trying to get even with people. I was trying to settle scores because I had so much anger and hatred inside of me for what they did to me. I don't know. I was just angry. I was angry and I was looking for a way to express myself because I'm not a good talker. I'm not a good talker, as you can tell. But for some reason, when I'm writing or when the microphone comes on or when the camera comes on, that's when I can say what's on my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say that I'm sure you guys have experienced that yourselves, but people have a personality, right? Who they are, and then all of a sudden, when there's where's my phone? When there's a camera put into their face, some people their behavior changes, their personality changes a little bit. I like to think that my personality is pretty similar to what you guys are seeing on YouTube. I mean, some of you have met me in real life. Adam Barr, for example, the comments, he's met me in real life. Dream On has met me in real life. I don't think he's here right now. I like to think that I'm pretty similar, but there are some people that when the camera turns on, there's this personality shift. And I will say that sometimes when I do film my videos and I know the camera's on, I do try to put a little more energy into it where it's kind of like, hey guys, the whole YouTube thing. I did it as a joke, but the camera does change people. And you see someone in the street, you put the camera in their face, you get different kind of reactions. Some people get really freaking nervous. Some people are like, I can't do it, I'm too nervous. So I don't blame them for that, but it is what it is.
Music obviously didn't work out, and I went to college. It was weird when I got to college. I was like, man, I shouldn't be here. Like I felt so like out of place. I felt like I hadn't done like the proper like growing up yet, because I was still like, from those past 2 years, it was just all anger. It was literally all anger. It was all like cutting people off, cutting people out of my life. I didn't know how to make friends when I got to college. I worked these jobs like during the summer and stuff. I would always get fired. I would always lose my job. It was just like I kept failing at those. And I would go home and be like, why'd you lose your job again? Maybe I'm a bad worker. I don't know. It was just, I couldn't get engaged in anything I was doing. Like I hated the work so much. I never wanted to be there, and I wanted like a way out. And I went to college and felt super, super alone at college. Super alone. I remember after one semester being put on academic probation, and it was just like, man.
I want to read that. What did it say?
Super alone. I remember after one semester being put on academic
at the end of each semester. Oh, I don't know. His name was Benjamin. That's interesting. At the end of each semester, student records are evaluated to determine academic standing. Based on your fall 2018 term grade point average and cumulative GPA, it has been determined that you have been placed on academic warning. Criteria for academic standing are found in the academic progress, probation, and dismissal section. If your GPA does not improve, you may be subject to academic probation or dismissal. Damn.
Probation. And it was just like, man, another failure. I was like, I can't stop failing at stuff. Because I obviously failed with the music. Now I'm about to fail college. I was like, why can't I do anything right? You know, I need to pass college to get a job. But I couldn't do it. I needed something else to do. I needed like something to get me out of there, because I was failing at everything. I remember sitting in my room one night. I was just on YouTube, and I saw a video, and I was like, man, I could do that. Something I always did throughout my life was I always tried to make people laugh. And when I look at it now, I think it stems from like being younger and not fitting in, like, and being scared of all these people around me. And it's like, if I can make them laugh, like, then they're not gonna hurt me. And
yeah, this is crazy emotional. I'm did not expect this video to be as emotional as it is, but honestly, I'm just so happy that this kid was able to take all this pain that he obviously dealt with as a young kid, and he put it into something productive, such as a super successful YouTube channel in such a short period of time. So this is how you can turn a negative situation in your life to, an extreme positive. Now, I'm not coming the same way he did. He was obviously had a very troubled childhood, and now he is becoming this celebrity who most kids his age, you should see the videos of him when he sees people in public, they worship him. It's unbelievable to watch. For me, I just got really triggered by how I was treated 2020 when I came out as a Trump supporter. It really triggered me how demonized, ostracized, insulted, slandered, death threats, all that stuff that they did to me. So when the election passed, I had this point where I was like, for 2.5 months, I fought so hard to get Trump reelected, and I sacrificed so many friendships and connections by doing that. That once the election passed, I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to keep going with this, because it really upset me how much negativity and animosity was just kind of thrown at me in 2020. And I figured I could just enter the political arena, which I've been doing ever since, but I could do it in a kinder way than I was treated. So that's kind of why I did my channel and kept it going. And I tried to turn the negative into a positive. And here we are now. Look at this. I'm almost at 50,000 subs. A far cry from 1 million like Loaf is, but a lot of us have our own motivations for becoming YouTubers. And for me, little did I know, having that audience when my kidneys failed really was therapy for me to have that as an outlet. So, I think it all kind of, worked out for me in the long term. And I'm really excited to see where this goes from here. I'm really excited to see where my channel goes in the next 3 to 6 months. I think this is a very pivotal point now where my channel can either grow and expedite, or it's going to just kind of like taper off again. I don't know, but I'm going to keep doing whatever I can to keep pushing the mission out there, trying to come up with new ideas for content and hopefully make some more connections and interactions through, this whole world that I've kind of entered into.
So I saw that video and I decided I could do something like that. And I basically called up my buddies and just asked them, like, do you want to go film this tomorrow? I came up with this idea in my head. And the first YouTube video I ever filmed, I literally, like, have never felt that way before. I was like, this is exactly what I'm going to do with my life. So we filmed the video, we started the channel, and I needed a name for the channel. I didn't want it to be my name because I didn't really like myself. So I came up with the name Loaf. I wanted it to be a name that was representative of how I was feeling in the moment and the time. So I came up with the name Loaf, Lofe, and it means loser of fucking everything. And that's what the name I came up with because that's how I felt at that moment. I was like, I am a fucking loser at everything, and maybe this one thing I won't be a fucking loser at. And I never tell people what it means when they ask me. I never tell them. To me now, it's like, it's not like a negative thing. It's like, that's how I felt in that moment. I felt like that, but I was able to turn that into something positive. Loser of fucking everything is like a terrible way to think about yourself, but this is the truth. This is the way I thought about myself. And I was able to turn that such a negative into something positive. So the channel was started. I got out of college. I decided YouTube is the only thing I'm going to focus on. This is the only thing I care about. And I was going to go hard on YouTube. And for a while, it was just terrible. Like nothing was happening. I would be embarrassed when people would ask me what I did for what I was doing for a living. Like people, like my parents, my relatives, my friends, people in my life, they were asking me like, what are you doing? And all my friends were in school, all my friends had jobs, and I was doing YouTube. I was making no money, having no success, and I was very, very scared, to be honest. I remember I had like money saved up because I drove a shuttle bus while I was in college, and that money disappeared very quickly. Like trying to like make YouTube work, I would have to buy stuff for YouTube, buy equipment, buy flights, but like I spent all my money and I pretty much had nothing left.
Yeah, that's the thing that people don't realize about YouTube is that you have to invest in your channel early on before you have any success. I don't think some of you obviously understand that, but I don't think a lot of people really think about the costs that go into creating these channels. For me, for example, I had to buy a new laptop, I think 3 times because 2 of them broke. One of them just got like water damage. Then the next one I forgot I put on the back of my car and I drove off, and then the laptop fell off the car. So this is my 3rd laptop now since I've been a YouTuber. And then you have microphones you got to buy. You have ring lights purchased today. You got cameras. I have 2 of these Sony ZV-1s that I'm filming with right now. And then you got to think about all the times that I did road trips to get to the Trump rallies from Florida up to South Carolina and back to North Carolina and back to DC and back to New York and back. I've done so many road trips, and just the gas money on those trips, it was unbelievable because, Joe Biden's gas prices. And then you got to look at hotel stays. And then you got to look at the fact that you're living out of hotels and Airbnbs. You can't really buy food in bulk. So you're pretty much eating out every meal. You're not really able to save money that way. And so you have all these costs early on to try to make your content as good as it can be. And there's no guarantee that you're ever going to have a lot of success financially. I know some YouTubers that have invested $25,000, $30,000 into this, and they've made almost $0 still years later. And that sucks. Like, that's a shitty feeling. I'm finally seeing some ROI, not a lot yet. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Like, most of my video views come from my shorts, and the shorts don't get a lot of monetization. So like, I might get 1 million views on a short now, but I get like $0 from it. I'm not even kidding. It's the long form videos that are the ones that monetize well, but I don't get as many views there. So, but I am getting more views now than I did, just 3 weeks ago. Like my AOC video yesterday that I posted, I think it's at like 11,000 views or something like that. I don't know. Let me see. Let's give you a real-time update. That was a fun video to film. Yeah, 11,000 on the dot. I was right. 11,096 views to be exact. And that's great. Maybe it's going to go up more. Maybe it's going to skyrocket. You know, for every 100,000 views, you make about $500 about. So as you guys can see, 10,000, 11,000 views is about $55 in YouTube AdSense. So I'll know tomorrow because it's usually about 24 hours delayed. If my estimate is correct, 11,000 views should be about $55. If it hits 100,000 views, that would be $500. And that's when you start to be able to make a living off of YouTube, is when you could post a video, 100,000 views, $500. Now you're talking, right? Especially when it starts to become predictable. Because you could know, like, all right, if I post a video today, I know I'm going to get 100,000 views. I know I'm going to get $500. Boom. That's how some of these YouTubers can actually operate, especially the people like Mr. Beast who get like 100 million views. He knows when he posts a video, he's going to make $1 million from AdSense. I'm not even kidding. He makes at least that. And that's not including brand sponsors. But it starts to become predictable, the income. Right now, because my channel's still in like the growth stage and most of my videos get demonetized because of what I talk about, I don't have that predictability right now. But it is still growing slowly. But yeah, this Loaf was there. I'm there now, and I know a lot of YouTubers that are there.
So I would DoorDash and stuff, and try to like make enough money to like pay my bills, pay my rent, pay everything, and just keep the dream alive. I just wanted people to try to understand what I was doing, but it was kind of hard to like my parents have never understood like the YouTube thing, and they've never really been like on board with the YouTube thing, and that's probably like the hardest part, because it's just like every kid wants to make their parents proud, you know what I mean? And like I just want them to understand like all I'm trying to do is just what I love to do, and like I'm trying to like encourage people to like chase their dreams and do what they love. It's never trying to do anything bad. I'm just doing what I love to do. I remember I would go out, I would deliver food all day, make enough money like to pay for my shit, and then just film like whenever we could, because I mean Dan still had a full-time job too. Like I wasn't making any money, I couldn't afford to pay it. I remember we put out merch and sold one shirt, and it was just like, man, it just scared me, because it was like, am I really about to fail at this too? Yeah, I just remember sitting in my bed, just having such a shitty day and like feeling so bad like about myself, and I felt like I had no one to talk to. I remember I thought about a song that I used to listen to all the time when I was coming up, like in the really early days. My favorite song of all time is "Love" by Kid Cudi. It's just relatable, because it's like I've had many moments of like loneliness, and even now there's those moments still happen. So he says like all of the stories the hero gets.
Yeah, Mark. So I'm just going to address this right now. So I typically do politics, but I also do health videos too. I don't know if you've ever seen any of those, but I've gone through so much physically this year with my health issues, and this guy here, Loaf, he really helped me get through some dark times in my own life with his content. So I just wanted to kind of watch his video. It seemed very emotional. It's amazing. I'm inspired by this kid. He went from, again, 1,500 subs a year ago to 1 million this year. And who knows, maybe I'll be on that trajectory. Maybe by the 2024 election, I'll have 1 million subs. I have no idea. But I also do want to use my platform to, promote things that I really enjoy, and just put a spotlight on really cool people. And Loaf is definitely one of them that's deserving of my attention. And I think he deserves a big spotlight. So, not all my videos are going to be political. I'd say 90% of them are political, but, I'm going to focus on, other things too sometimes. Like when I would travel, I did a lot of travel videos. I don't think you might have been following me back then, but I did videos all over Mexico. And people love those as well. I mean, some of my Mexico videos got over 100,000 views. So I think that there's enough, room out there for me to put this kind of content out there. And obviously, if you, if this kind of content isn't for you, then I totally understand.
gets lonely. And that's like very true to me, because it's like, if you're gonna go after something worthwhile, you're gonna get lonely while you're doing it. Anything worth going for has those moments. And he says now it's the time. Show them what you're made of. So you just gotta keep pushing through it. And I left a comment on it.
My name is Ben, aka Loaf. I have a YouTube channel with 5,000 subscribers currently. This is my favorite song of all time, and I'm going to use it when I hit 1 million subscribers. The line, all the stories, the hero gets lonely, hits me because a lot of times you can get lonely when people don't believe. But I'm going to do it, and I'm going to come back to this comment when I do.
And from that moment, it was like something like switched in my head, where it was like, all of you might not believe that this is going to happen. You might not think that this is going to happen, but I do. I wanted to say thank you for 5,000 subscribers. I feel like the first 5,000 is kind of an important milestone. To get that 100K plaque in my hands, mark my words, and then we're going to get the million plaque. I know we're going to get it. No, I could not be in a place so filled with lies. Can't stand the quiet nights while you drink my glass of wine. Hopeful is all I know, how to keep inside and cry. Nothing I can say, done running from this pain in my way. You shout out to Loaf, fighting every day. I said, tell myself, okay, we gotta find another way. One extra jack. You gotta find another way. You gotta find another way. Don't be so down, you'll be happy, you'll be okay, you'll find a good. All of the stories, the hero gets lonely.
So I actually have seen literally all these videos he did in his highlight right here. I've seen all these videos already. And I recommend you guys definitely check his channel out because it really is, it's an amazing channel. You see that, guys? This is how he was treated at his 1 million. He did a visit to a mall in Miami, and this is how he was greeted. Hell yeah. That's dope. 1 million subscribers, guys. That is freaking amazing. What a journey that kid's been on. I'm proud of him. I hope I get to meet him one day. I mean, you know, part of the reason why I wanted to make this video is so that if he searches for his name in the YouTube algorithm, my video might show up and he might be like, who's this guy out of Francisco? And then, Loaf, if you're watching this and you come to New York or you come down to Florida, when I know you go to Miami, but if I'm back in Florida and you're down there and you see this, I like to trigger people too. Now, I've done mostly political triggering with my Trump flag and stuff. But we don't have to do that. Me and you can do something else. We come with a concept together. It could be political. It doesn't have to be. You don't do political stuff, so we can avoid that. But, you know, you can contact my people. That's just my Instagram. You just contact me on Instagram. And we could do a collaboration together. I'm pretty much twice your age, but I would love to do something with you in the future, man, if you see this. So if it does happen and you guys are seeing it, that's pretty cool. So that's kind of also why I wanted to put the video together, was so that Loaf might see this and, you know, to see that how much I appreciate him, and also to thank him for what he did for me with my disease when I was hospitalized for 2 months. I mean, having him as an outlet was absolutely incredible. So thank you, Loaf. I appreciate you, man, and congratulations on 1 million subs. I hope that you become filthy rich from your YouTube channel. I really do. You deserve it, man. And hell yeah. All right, guys. So that's going to be it for now. I'll be back on maybe later tonight if I could find any political debates to react to, because I do love watching those. That stuff is really interesting to me. But thanks again for watching this, guys. I know this was not a political video, and I know it was a shift, but Loaf deserves it. And I hope you guys go check out his channel. and I will see you guys later. And make sure you watch my AOC video. It's hilarious. All right, guys. Be free, my sheeple. God bless Trump.